Yeah, I was a millionaire at 22, guys. Anyway, but it felt good seeing that many zeros in my bank account. I digress. Hello everyone, sanibonani dumelang abusheni. Hello, annyeonghaseyo, molweni ninjani. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me, for watching, for clicking, for liking, for subscribing, for the views, for sharing, guys. I really appreciate the feedback from my first video. And here comes video number 2. A lot of the feedback that I got from the first video is people asking, or people being more interested in teaching abroad or teaching in South Korea, more specifically. So I decided to put together 15 of the top questions that were asked and answer them. And yeah, for the second video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it's very helpful, and I'm trying to keep it very short. The 15 things you need to know before teaching in South Korea. So let's start. Question number 1, Phila, what are the requirements? Number 1, the requirements are that you be from an English-speaking nation, such as South Africa, and Canada, USA, UK, South Africa, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand. Then you qualify. Number 2, you need to not have a criminal record, so make sure that your slate is clean. Number 3, you need to have a 3 or 4 year degree in anything. It could be in medicine. Okay, there's no 3 or 4 years. Anyway, it could be in teaching, it could be in engineering, it could be in law, it could be in pharmacy, anything. As long as it's a 3 or 4 year degree or the equivalent of. So the equivalent of would be a diploma with a BTech. So if you have a diploma and you have your BTech, you also qualify. And then you also need a working or valid passport. Number 2, how much should you save for teaching in South Korea? So this is what happens. So when you go to South Korea, this is something that a lot of people don't usually know, even though it's written in their contracts, is that you need to come with about 10,000 rands. It doesn't have to necessarily be, in fact, 7,000 to 10,000 rands for your first month, because you don't get paid in the first month. And then you get a bonus at the end of your contract. So the first month when you're working, you will not get a salary. You will only get it in the second month. So save and go to South Korea with about 7,000 to 10,000 rands. That should last you. This now includes groceries or eating out, because when you get there, a lot of people are going to be inviting you to dinners and whatnot to get to know you and to introduce you to places. So dinners, sightseeing, shopping, experiencing places, about 7,000 rands to 10,000 rands. Question number 3, do you need a TEFL certificate? The short answer is no, you do not need a TEFL certificate, even though it's preferred, or it's advantageous, it's advantageous to have a TEFL certificate or TESOL certificate. But I did not have a TEFL certificate when I went to teach in South Korea. Question number 4 or 3, I don't know. This one I get asked a lot. How much do you get paid as an English teacher? So if you're working for a private school, which we call Hakwan, or private academy or private institution, which means it's not owned by the government, you get paid a minimum of 2.1 million Korean won. Yeah, I was a millionaire at 22, guys. Anyway, well, in Korean won. But it felt good seeing that many zeros in my bank account. I digress. So it's 2.1 million Korean won to about 2.5, 2.7, depending on how educated you are. So if you have a master's, I think you get higher. You get a higher salary. And also if you have teaching experience, I think you also get a higher salary. So 2.1 million Korean won is about 25,000, 27,000 rands. And then so you get paid 2.1 million rand to about 2.7, 2.9 maybe with some people. And then if you're working for a public school, you get paid from 1.9 million and up. So yeah, it depends on the facility. It depends on the institution, whether it's private or public. Next question, I don't even know what question I'm on now. So the next question is, how long does it take to get your visa? So what's important is that when you go to apply, I hope I'm not all over the place. When you go to apply for your visa, you need a TRC number or a work number, which basically states that you're going to Korea because you have a job already. You're not going there to loiter, and you can only get that when you get your contract, and all of that is when you've sent all your documents to the school that you'll be working for, and then they send you back that TRC number, and then you go apply, and then you get your visa in about 5 days, depending on the season. Do you need to speak Korean? Yes. No. No, you don't need to speak Korean, but it's such an advantage, guys, especially if you're not living in Seoul or Busan. Seoul is the capital of South Korea. Busan is it's like the Cape Town of South Korea, with the beach, and it's popular, it's proper and whatnot. And Seoul would be like the Johannesburg of South Africa. So if you're not living in Seoul or Busan, you're going to struggle. I lived in Cheonan, a city right outside of Seoul, and at least 95% I had met in the entire town could only speak Korean. So I had to learn Korean, or to at least read Korean. It's so easy, guys. They only have 14 alphabets. Very easy. Once you get it, it makes life so much easier. So you don't need to speak Korean. You don't need to speak Korean before you go, but it would be so beneficial if you did. Next question. Do you pay tax? Yes, you do. You pay 3.3% tax. It might be higher now, because the last time I was there was last year. Yeah. But we were paying 3.3 tax, and it's deducted before you even get your salary. So, and it's so small, like it's so tiny, you don't even feel it. So you get paid 2.1 million Korean won, and your tax would be something like, I don't want to show you how bad my math is, but it would probably be like 800 or something. Like, you don't feel it. And so it's really good. It's a very good way to save. It's very easy to save, because of that money, every month you spend about 10,000 rand. And then you can save the rest of the 15, or you can spend it on whatever you want to spend, or even spend it at home, whatever. Next question. Can you travel? Yes. And this is a nice thing about being in an Asian country, the fact that the rest of Asia the rest of the other Asian countries are so close to each other, and also traveling from there is so much cheaper. And this is how I also got to travel a bit. So when I was there, I'd go to like on weekends, you can go to an island. You can Bali is right there. What's this? These famous places that people like to go to, like Thailand, right there. It's like 2 hours, 1 hour flight. You can literally leave Friday after school, come back Monday morning at like 4 a.m. get to school at like 9 a.m. So it's very easy to, and I got to travel to China. You get to, like, there's literally Japan, Taiwan, Vietnam, all these other places, so much cheaper. I remember this one time a friend of mine hit me up. Long story, actually, I don't even need to tell the story, but the point is, I remember we paid $228 for a return flight to China for like a mini holiday during Christmas. And 228 is like what, 2,700 rand? And now of the 25,000 rand that you get paid, it's nothing. It's awesome. You get to travel so much. So yeah, get to Korea, and then you can start your traveling journey. Next question. Do I need to have teaching experience? The answer is no. Again, it's beneficial if you do. You can demand more if you've had teaching experience. You stand a chance to get a higher salary, but you do not need to have teaching experience. When you get there, they take you through orientation in the first week or so. So you will go through orientation where you will be taught whatever you need to learn. Next question, what do I bring with? Okay, before I get to that, because that's going to be a bit long, I'll start with the other one.
Firstly, I'm so sorry, I forgot this part. I actually left it out. So what you do need to bring is foundation or makeup, especially if you're darker or if you're a black person. You will not find anything that suits your shade or your skin. You need to bring deodorant. They don't have deodorant. They don't really use deodorant in South Korea. So if you ever do find it, you'll find it and it'll be very, very expensive. So bring some deodorant of your own, and also foods that you feel like you'll miss, like maize meal. I don't know what else.
Do I get accommodation? Yes. So what the school pays for, what you basically don't pay for anything every month. You don't have expenses besides your Wi-Fi and your electricity or utilities. Utilities are like electricity, maintenance, and Wi-Fi. So yeah, your accommodation is paid for you by your school. But if you feel that you don't like the apartment you live in, you feel like it's too dirty, or it's in an old building, or you want something more modern, or you want something with a loft, you are allowed to go look for your own apartment. But if it costs more than what they are willing to pay for your apartment, you might have to pay the remainder. And then how much do I pay for agencies? As Marilyn says, it's $3.99. Yeah, you don't pay anything. They do everything for free. So if anyone comes up to you and says, pay me 500 rands and I'll find you a school, it's a no. It's a scam, actually. Next question, I think this is question number 12. How much do I, can I travel with my boyfriend or girlfriend? And the answer is yes. So there are agencies, all the agencies, and also there are schools where you can ask to get a job with your husband or wife or your boyfriend or girlfriend or sister or best friend. So you can travel with your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your sister or your brother. Who pays for my flight? So this is what usually happens. They'll let you pay for your flight to South Korea and then they reimburse you. So they will pay you the full amount that you paid for your flight to South Korea. Those kind of things. And the last question number 15 is Korea safe? And the long and the short of it is absolutely yes. It's much safer than South Africa. I think it might even be safer than the United States. Yeah, you can literally walk around alone. Obviously, there will be bad people here and there, but I think Korea is one of the safest countries that I know in the world. Running out of time, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful for everybody. If you have any more questions, please make sure you put them in the description box. In the comment section, you can inbox me on Instagram, on Facebook. Even though I'm usually on Instagram more than I am on Facebook, you can email me. I'll leave my email address and all my details down in the description box. Thank you so much for watching and for supporting and subscribing. Please make sure you like, you comment, and you subscribe, and you share, guys. Please share it with as many people as you can. We need to start traveling and not feel that we can't afford. There's so many ways to make things happen. But anyway, thank you so much. And you can say yo, bye, ciao kayo. Bye everyone.